Sure. Thanks very much. Good to be with you again. We did chat last election cycle. When I entered the race for U.S. Congress from District 24 in Orlando, we set out on a goal, and the main objective was to replace Suzanne Cosmos in the U.S. Congress. I thought I had a message to bring to the people of Central Florida. I think we brought that message to them. We came up a little bit short, 1,600 votes short in that primary. But at the end of the day, Suzanne Cosmos was replaced by Congresswoman Sandy Adams. I supported Sandy just minutes after I determined that I was not going to win the race. Sandy Adams is a very good Congresswoman. I hope she stays in Congress a long time. And I won't run against a good, solid Republican incumbent in a congressional seat in Central Florida. As I turn my attention to 2012, retaking the U.S. Senate and retiring Bill Nelson should be and needs to be one of the top objectives of all Floridians. And as someone that wants to serve, someone that served our country many years ago in the military, but then spent my life as a career businessman, building companies, creating jobs, I want to take my life's experiences, and I believe serving in the U.S. Senate is a unique opportunity and a unique place to do that. When I look at the field of Republicans in this race, it's full of people that have taken government checks most of their professional career, if not all their professional career. I want to bring a different perspective to Washington and a different perspective to the U.S. Senate, and that's a lifetime of building businesses and building jobs and creating jobs and satisfying the American consumer, through the food service industry and what I learned from being so well connected with the American people. And so that's why I'm running.
What you bring to the table in this crowded senatorial primary is that you're the only one that has any business experience.
It's not only business experiences, life's experiences. If you look at my career from a dishwasher at 13 to a veteran at 21, and having volunteered from Vietnam, and then going to Florida public schools and graduating from a public school university and being involved in the National Restaurant Association, making a 12-15 year commitment to trying to improve the playing field for small business owners. I'm looking to attract veterans because veterans look at me and what I did and have an appreciation, and they know I understand what it's like to serve in an unpopular war. I'm looking to the business community, and I'm looking to Main Street, to the people that are tired of having career politicians. Bill Nelson has been in public life for 40 years. Basically, between his time in Tallahassee and his time on Pennsylvania Avenue, 40 years. He's supposed to be a champion for a manned spacecraft. How's that worked out for us, if you think about it? I've been on Main Street for 40 years. I started at the lowest rung of the ladder, and I raised myself up during that time. And that life's experience is not just business experience. It's what you learn by managing people. It's what you learn by using capital correctly or borrowing at the right time and making sure you're able to pay it back. We don't have people in Washington that have done those kind of things, and that's what I want to bring to the U.S. Senate.
How do you feel about this past E-Verify measure that didn't pass the U.S. Senate? I mean, they passed an illegal immigration reform bill, but it fell short of what they needed, what the constituents wanted as far as E-Verify. How do you feel about that?
Are you talking about the Florida one? Well, first of all, I was in favor of Florida passing that. I thought with the majority that we had in both houses, state houses, that it would have been passed. The reason why I would like Florida to pass it is not because I believe that we need 50 solutions. I believe that the federal government has been, absent and really neglectful of our immigration system and our immigration laws. And I thought Florida could send a strong signal to Washington that Washington better do something. That's why I was supportive of Florida passing that law. Now, Florida is unique. Florida's economy is very unique. I come from the tourism and hospitality industry. I'm also fully aware of the impact that foreign workers, both legal and illegal, have on the agricultural industry in Florida. But I come from a background and from a set of beliefs that if you have a law and the Constitution is very clear that we are required, not only as elected officials but as citizens, to make sure that we defend our Constitution and we defend our set of laws. The fact that we don't have good immigration laws doesn't mean we don't have immigration laws. And I believe that we need to have stricter enforcement. I believe the business community could be part of that solution. I really do believe the best solution is a mandatory federal e-verification program. It is a federal program, the e-verification program. I'm very familiar with it. I implemented E-Verify at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in 2006 when I was the CEO there. Why? Because I wanted to make sure that all the workers in my company were here legally, and there was a tool provided by the government that allowed me to do that. I recently testified in Washington in front of Lamar Smith's Congressional Judiciary Committee meeting on mandatory federal e-verification, making that plea to the U.S. Congress that we need to give the business community and the employers of our nation good policy and good tools if we're going to hope to hold them accountable for making sure that they're hiring legal workers. We need enforcement of all of our laws. You know, I don't think it's fair that the business community be the only one that's singled out on the issue. Most of these workers are here because of the jobs. That's a given. Congress decided back in the 80s that the businessman was going to be responsible. And as a responsible businessman, I've always done everything I could to make sure the people working for me. But our laws are so bad that up until now, you don't even know if an illegal is working for you until you've already hired them. You know, so the system is so broken, and no one seems to be willing to step forward. But Abraham Lincoln said, you know, the best way to get rid of some bad laws, okay, is to make sure you enforce them fully. And I think that we have opportunities to improve our legal immigration laws, to make sure that we have the workers we need when we need them, but also have a system where people the business community can make sure that they're following the laws. It's ironic to me, to the point that you make, particularly for minorities, Hispanic and African Americans, whose unemployment rate is literally twice the national average. It's ironic to me that the Democratic Party and the more liberal agenda that seems to be always concerned about you know, the middle class and the lower middle class isn't in an uproar over our illegal immigration, because what they're actually saying is that the people that need the jobs most, who they propose to back the most or support the most, are hurting the most. And that's a Main Street perspective. That's somebody that sits, you know, every day talking to people and watching what's happening by the ineffectual leadership we have in Washington.